Hey, what's up? What's going on? Welcome to English with Dane, a podcast designed to improve your English. As always, I'm your host, Dane, and you can find me on Instagram at English with Dane. If you want a full transcript of this and all future episodes, send me a message. And if you don't use Instagram, send me an email at englishwithdane@gmail.com. Today's episode is about phrasal verbs with take. We did an episode about phrasal verbs with get, phrasal verbs with pass, and so today we're taking a look at phrasal verbs with take. I know some of you hear phrasal verbs and freak out a little bit, but relax. This won't be too overwhelming. You know my philosophy about phrasal verbs. Learn only a few at a time, because when you try to learn 20 from a list, you don't retain any. So let's do this. You are listening to the 32nd episode of Season 2 of English with Dane. Hit it. Okay, we have officially started the show. So let's talk about phrasal verbs with take. Today we have 5, but before we start though, I know that these phrasal verbs have more than 1 or 2 meanings depending on the context, but we're only going to take a look at 1 or 2 meanings for each one. Once you get used to these meanings, start building by learning the different ones. First one, to take away. To take away means to remove, quitar. For example, they took away her phone because she was using it too much. To take away is a phrasal verb that we can separate, so you can say to take something away. You could say, take this chair away, we don't need it in the end. Or, they took his company card away because he was spending too much money. Remember, when replacing the object or the thing with the pronoun it, you have to put it between take and away, entre take and away. If you want to say quítalo, for example, take it away. And if you want to say quítaselo, you say take it away from him. Remember, you take something away from someone. Next phrasal verb, to take down. Take down translates to bajar or descolgar, to remove something that was put up or put in place. For example, I think we should take down the painting, el cuadro. It doesn't look good above the sofa. We also use take down for things that are online and then removed, for example. When we talk about posts on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or wherever, we use the phrasal verb to take down. His post was taken down because it was offensive, for example. And again, if we want to replace the thing or things we are talking about with it or them, they have to go in the middle. I hate those pictures. Take them down. I don't want to look at that poster all day. Take it down. Next one, to take off. The most common use of this phrasal verb is when we talk about clothes, right? Quítate los zapatos. Take off your shoes. Yes. And you have probably heard this phrasal verb when talking about airplanes, because take off also means despegar. Yes. But we also use it informally to say that we are leaving, que nos vamos. And that's the meaning I want to focus on. If you are with some friends and you're going to leave, it's very common to say, all right, I think I'm going to take off. As in, okay, creo que voy a despegar. It sounds crazy in Spanish, I know. It sounds like a way of saying you're angry, maybe, right? But in reality, it's one of the most common ways to say you're leaving when speaking informally. I think I'm gonna take off is a great way of saying, okay, it's time to leave, but without being rude. We also say head off, but today we're only focusing on phrasal verbs with take. Next one, number 4, to take on. To take on means to accept a job or responsibility, especially a difficult one. Asumes responsabilidad. You take on responsibility. You take on a task or a challenge. You can say something like, while our boss is away, everyone has to take on more responsibilities. To take on can also mean enfrentarse a algo o alguien, which in a sense is a very similar meaning. For example, if we win our next game or our next match, we will take on the best team in the league. So to fight or to compete against. All right, I have one more before I go. To take over. To take over means to begin to have control of something. Asumir el mando, hacerse cargo, etc. You can say, okay, I'm taking over this meeting. From now on, if you have any questions, you can direct them to me. Or they took over the company shortly after the CEO left. You can also take this phrasal verb and use it as a noun, como sustantivo. After the takeover, most of my colleagues were fired. So in this case, we're talking about un takeover. All right, a quick recap of these 5 phrasal verbs with take. Number 1, to take away, to remove, quitar. For example, they took away her phone because she was using it too much. Number 2, take down, bajar o descolgar. I think we should take down the painting, el cuadro. It doesn't look good above the sofa. Number 3, to take off, despegar, but also a way of saying you're leaving. All right, it's been fun, but I'm going to take off. Number 4, to take on, asumir, in terms of responsibilities or tasks. While our boss is away, everyone has to take on more responsibilities. Number 5, to take over. To begin to have control over something, right? To take control of something. They took over the company shortly after the CEO left. All right, I hope you enjoyed my list of 5 phrasal verbs with take. I hope it helps. And remember, don't try and learn a bunch of phrasal verbs at once. Learn around 5 a week, 1 a day. Use it a lot. Practice using it with pronouns, in past, in questions, etc. I think those long lists of phrasal verbs are good once you already know them because you can use it as a review. But if your objective is to take these phrasal verbs and use them in a day-to-day situation or conversation, then slow and steady wins the race. Okay, that's the show for today. Follow me on Instagram at English with Dane. I promise I'll be more active. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And remember, the best way to support English with Dane is to share it with friends, family, or anyone who you think would enjoy it. All right, talk soon. Bye-bye.